It's a news story you may recall, one that made headlines not just here in Quebec, but around the world. In 2018, a 22-year-old Granby woman was one of 3 Quebecers convicted of smuggling 95 kilos of cocaine into Sydney, Australia, aboard a luxury cruise ship. Mélina Roberge told the court she'd been recruited to smuggle the drugs, and she accepted for the opportunity to post glamorous selfies on Instagram in exotic locations around the globe. She was released from an Australian prison and returned home last spring, and she's written a book about her experience, co-authored with journalist Claudia Bertillon. It's called Sans Filtre, the translation, of course, no filter. And Mélina Roberge joins us now. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So first off, you were released from prison in the middle of a pandemic after 5 years being behind bars, so far away from home, from your family and friends. And in the book, you describe what it was finally like to come back to Canadian soil, to see your family again. Tell us a little bit more about that and just making the transition in general.
I think I had a certain idea of what the transition would be like, and it really wasn't that like that. I thought I just went through 5 years in jail, so what could be worse? There's no way I'm going to struggle. I'm just going to go back to work and everything's going to be fine. And then, of course, when you live in a jail, there's certain things that you can't say. If you're frustrated about certain things, you can't talk about it. You basically have to keep your emotions for yourself. So I think what I did was bottle up a lot of things while I was there. And when I came back, I just did the same thing. So any emotion that was negative or I thought I didn't need to think about because it wasn't good for me, I just would keep it for myself. So the transition was quite hard because I came back, and in a matter of 2 weeks, I went back to work straight away. And I noticed that my brain couldn't register any information. I could not function normally. And I started to ask myself some questions. And I went back to my life that I had before, which was go out all the time and drink and spend all my money in ridiculous things when I should do the complete opposite.
So
the whole
people might
transition
hear
was
that
difficult.
and think she didn't learn any lessons after 5 years in jail.
hmm My mom thought the same thing, to be honest, and I could understand why. But we had the conversation not long ago, and she said, "You know what? I was there for you, and I was watching what you were doing, but at the same time, she thought she's still in her 20s, and everybody in her 20s do the same thing as her, so." Maybe she needs to do it again to really see that that's not what she wants to do anymore, and that's exactly what happened, actually. And she was the one that pushed me towards therapy as well, which really helped me at that time. Yeah.
So you got caught up in a certain kind of high-end lifestyle, going out several nights a week, lavish meals, champagne flowing, older men, so-called sugar daddies paying for anything. I mean, at that time, did you have any idea that eventually there would be a price to pay?
No. And that's what's unfortunate, I think, with the generation that I lived in back then at 22 years old, but also the generation that's coming up right now is that free things aren't weird. And it's becoming the normality to be offered like trips and being invited to big tables at big restaurants because you're pretty. So everything is it's going towards looks and the easy way, and that's what I lived in back then. But I felt like when I came back it was worse, where the book came from a little bit.
Yeah,
And I
tell us
told you
more about that, because some people may even now be watching, judging you, thinking she's this superficial person, she's looking for more attention, she's trying to profit from a crime essentially. What could I possibly have to learn from reading this? So what do you say to those people about why you wrote this book?
Well, I think it would be hard for anybody to understand. And like I said, I could have done anything, and I had the chance to do a movie or a documentary, but I chose the book because, first of all, everything was around my looks and my pictures, and I was judged for what I did, which was really bad, and I'll never excuse what I did. But the book, I felt like the only thing you can concentrate on are my words. And if I had a girl when I was 22 that would have published a book like I did on the same subject like I did, and I touched a lot about social media and the influence that it can bring in your life and the negativeness of the social media and all the comparison that we do with ourselves. If I had a girl that came with that message and taught me what she knew, maybe I would have taken a different path. Maybe I would have thought about it twice. Maybe I would have reconsidered my choices when I went out with people, and would I have accepted so many freebies, if you want. And I think the biggest lesson in life is there's no such thing as a free meal. That's something that someone told me back in Australia, and I felt like that was very accurate. And anytime something repetitive happens and it's free, then you should ask yourself some questions and say, why do I deserve free things all the time? Like, how am I more special than this other person? You know what I mean?
Okay. So you're hoping that message, of course, gets through to young girls who may be influenced by social media. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us today. Sans Filtre is now available in bookstores, and you'll be in Montreal next month.
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you so much.